Yo, what is poppin'? Man, oh man, we are here. We are here with the wild card round playoff episode. Man, I'm really excited, man. The playoffs are here. It's time to get into it. We're going to be giggling a lot, I feel like, this episode, because typically we do like our doc where it has, kind of how our episode's going to be laid out. It's our layout of typical episodes. And we just do it in a Google Doc, but this one's a little bit different, and we're going to share it with you guys later. But if we do look at it and we start giggling, you'll see why. And I'm really excited to talk about it. I mean, we've been alluding to it. There's been a lot of foreshadowing. Anthony's giggling over there because Anthony's fucked. He's fucked. Anyways, it's been 2 weeks, I believe, maybe 3 weeks. We don't have Cody, unfortunately, because he's at work. But Anthony, how you been, man?
Good. Hell, man. Been kind of a no life lately. I just been studying a lot. I have my NREMT test on this upcoming Saturday.
It's needed, man.
It's needed, and then I have Fire Academy testing right after that. See how it goes. There's not really a whole lot. Oh, New Year's! Happy New Year, everyone. It's 2026.
Yes. Happy
It's
New
2026.
Year.
This is the first episode of 2026. Let's see. What did we do on New Year's? We just went over to Sean's. And it was me, Sean, Riley, Cody, Athana, McKinley.
Grayson pull up?
No. And then McKinley's friend Reagan was there as well. And in the beginning, we had a Stranger Things watch party. So that's exactly what we did, starting at 6 to like 6:20-ish is when we started it. Watched that, and after that, we just got to drinking.
Nice. Did you guys go downtown, or did you stay there?
We just stayed there. We're like, fuck that. We're not spending a shit ton of money.
I kind of regret going out for New Year's, but I'll get into that as well.
Yeah,
that was fun though.
It was super chill, super nice. We did our own little potato drop because we were like,
so fucking funny, dude.
Yeah,
I was crying. I was like, what is this video? Like, I completely missed it at first. And then I rewatched it. I was like, dude, what in the world was that? It was so discombobulated. And then just
yeah.
Like, oh, shit. There we go.
Yeah. I lit off the fireworks. And then fucking Cody had the potato on the fishing rod.
That was just so funny, bro.
So funny. It was timed perfectly, too. It was great.
It was. It was.
And then we just played some drinking games. That's it, really. I mean, we all got pretty drunk. It was a good time.
That's good, man. I love to hear it.
Yeah, man. What about you?
Well, I mean, it's been an eventful last 2 weeks. I visited my family during Christmas time. I can't remember if we did an episode during Christmas, but it feels like we've done one 2 weeks ago. I can't remember if that was Christmas time, but so I visited my family for Christmas, which was a lot of fun. Stayed at my grandma's house in Walnut Creek. Got to see the whole family, which is always awesome. And then for New Year's, we went out in Newport. Dude, it was a shit show. We went to Stag at like 8:30. And I could tell you offline kind of more what happened just because it's probably more appropriate. But it was just a shit show. We stayed until like 1. At the end of the night, it's pouring rain in SoCal, by the way. So we're like under like this like canopy. And people are just walking by us like pissed because they're walking in the rain. And it's just randos. We asked, I'm not even joking, for 30 minutes, do you like sour cream on your bowl? That was the most entertaining part of the night. I'm not even joking. So that kind of explains what happened for my New Year's Eve. Still a lot of fun, though. Went out with some of the boys, which was a good time, per usual.
Good.
And then last week, we went to Mutt Lynch's to watch the Niners versus Seattle game. We'll get into that. What a disappointment. What a disappointment. I mean, dude, I was so pressed. I mean, what a shitty way to start the year. I was so excited for that game. And now I'm not really like that excited because, again, we'll get into it. But there's just a lot of not great things for the Niners lining up right now. But anyways, we're not here just to talk about the Niners and me feeling sorry. So let's actually get into it.
Green 18. Red 48. Settle down. Wide 80. Set hut.
We suck. We suck. Get rid of Belichick. Get rid of Mac Jones. Get rid of our entire fucking receiving core.
You guys are 2-8.
That's what I thought.
7, 2-8. It doesn't matter. We still suck.
So Seahawks played the Ravens. Final score was 28-25. Geno Smith, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Anyway, not really much to write home about that game. Just
right.
This is
I don't think
egregious.
Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
Wait,
I
are you putting Justin Herbert over Jared Goff?
Yes.
It was like an interview for like a new podcast company. Called Brazzers. I mean, you could see I'm literally in the headquarters right now, dude.
God, that intro is so crazy.
You know what's funny
So
is
crazy.
throughout our entire time of doing In the End Zone, the Patriots have sucked ass. Okay.
Yep.
And until now. But as you can look through all those past clips, I'm not wearing a single Patriots gear. I'm wearing Boston Bruins gear. And there's a reason for that. It's because the Patriots sucked. And I'm like,
Here
it's
you go.
hockey season, whatever.
And now you're coordinating colors.
Here we go.
Crazy.
I
Dude,
know,
that jersey's
right?
so hard. I'll
Dude.
say it online. I've been glazing you a little bit before we started, but that jersey's so tough. Show the crowd. Oops. Oh. Yeah. So tough, dude. Little Drake May. Gotta love it. You know, a lot of people know me as a Niners fan, clearly, because I'm wearing my Niners shit too. But I will say I've been glazing the Patriots a lot this year because it doesn't feel like the dynasty. And maybe in the future, Drake May will feel like Tom Brady just because it's the Patriots and it sucks that you guys win all the time. But I will say this. I've been glazing them a lot. However, I'm going to glaze them a little bit more. And maybe when we get into the Super Bowl predictions, which we're going to do later, we can discuss it more. But I do think that the Patriots have the best jerseys all around in the league. I mean, they have 2 jerseys, including the one they dropped this year. I don't know what that one's called.
This is
that one,
our
the color rush one, the red one.
These are our rivalry jerseys. And then our red one are just our alternates.
It's so tough. Like, they're both top 5 in the league. Like, jerseys, like, in general. So, anyways, we're going to get into it. Like I said, we have a really fun episode. I get to go through this doc again and smile. But we're going to talk about the news, Week 18 recap, the fantasy yearly recap, which I'm really excited about, stat of the week, wild card round predictions, and then our Super Bowl prediction. So, yeah, let's get into it. The news. God, dude, it's going to be so funny. News. It's really just about coaches getting fired from the teams that didn't make the playoffs, and then a couple of signings that have happened over the last week. So we're going to get into it and then talk about, the main ones that we want to talk about. So as for the ones that are new segments in regards to players getting signed, we'll probably do that first just because I want to kind of keep the firings to the end so that we can, have a relative discussion about that and all the coaches that are being fired and potentially getting looked at different teams. But the Rams are signing Quentin Lake, the safety for the Rams, to a contract extension of 3 years, $42 million deal. Quentin Lake has been a beast, dude. That secondary has been really, really good, and a lot of underrated players. Quentin Lake has been that guy. Respect to him and respect to the Rams. Honestly, they're going to be a tough out. Seattle has also extended Charles Cross, who has been one of the best offensive tackles all year, to a 4-year, $104.4 million deal. He is getting paid, man. It is crazy. So those are really the extensions that we've seen. Another thing that happened, in last week was the inevitable. Myles Garrett made history by sacking Joe Burrow for his 23rd sack of the year, which is now the single season record. He also signed with Jordan after the game, which I thought was kind of cool after doing that. Shout out to Myles Garrett, man. When it's all said and done, will probably be the second best defensive player of our generation, maybe first. I mean, he's a beast, man. Although Joe Burrow, there's some people saying that he dove. There's some discrepancies with it. I don't think he dove just because he felt the pressure and he was going to go down regardless. You don't want to get injured there, but it did look a little floppy, if that makes sense for a quarterback. Anyways, we're now going to get into all the firings. Holy moly, a lot has happened since Monday, man. I mean, this is a lot. And we knew a lot of these teams were going to do it, but I'm just going to go through it and then we're going to talk about, some of the main ones, like I said. So the Falcons have fired head coach Raheem Morris. The Cardinals have fired head coach Jonathan Gannon. The Raiders have fired Pete Carroll. The Commanders have moved on from both their coordinators, Cliff Kingsbury and Joe Witt, who is their defense coordinator. John Morton, the Lions offense coordinator, has also been fired. The Ravens have fired head coach John Harbaugh. The Giants are to interview John Harbaugh for a head coaching job. I'm going to talk about that one. That'll be one of the ones I highlight. I guess, mentally just because I haven't actually done it. But the Browns have also parted ways with head coach Kevin Stefanski. So, like I said, I want to talk about the John Harbaugh one, and then I want to talk about the Cardinals and the Raiders too, just because both those kind of hit home. But look, I mean, all these are kind of ones that we saw coming, right? I mean, the Commanders have had one of the, I don't want to say most disappointing seasons out of any of the teams, just because last year they went to the NFC Championship and this year they've been really, really injured. But you could say both those coordinators have been very bad. Like, even with what they've had, they've been bad. There's something going on there. And again, I mean, you lose your starting quarterback, who's one of the best in the league as a rookie last year. It's really hard. The Lions have been weird all year, man. They had to have fired the head or the offense coordinator after that type of season with that type of offense. I mean, it's just too inconsistent. Still was good, inconsistent in big games. John Morton, it makes sense. The Browns parting ways with Kevin Stefanski. Again, it just shows you why bad franchises are bad. Kevin Stefanski was brought into this situation in a horrible way. He was brought in. Their front office was like, okay, let's bring him in, GM, whatever it is. And he was brought into the worst situation in the NFL, and you fire him. You fire him after a year like last year, or this year, I should say, because we're not done. But it makes sense. But again, that is the GM in the front office's fault. Like, they have made so many bad decisions up to this point. I mean, Deshaun Watson, the list goes on. The list really goes on. There are so many players and bad decisions that the Browns have made. And firing Kevin Stefanski, sure, it'll probably make you feel good. It's a front office thing. Until you change the culture, you're fried. The Browns, fried. Kevin Stefanski, I do think could be a good coach, not with the Browns. So it makes sense why he was fired. Raheem Morris, again, kind of like the Commanders. They were predicted to be the winners of the NFC South. They weren't. They have way too much talent. It makes sense why he was fired. It truly does. Now let's get into like some of the bigger ones. Cardinals are firing head coach Jonathan Gannon. Look, I think this one makes sense as well. I do think that the Cardinals are going to be sneaky good, though, man. If they make a good hiring, they sign a quarterback that's good, I truly think that they could be good with the weapons that they have. I mean, they're probably 2-3 years away from, being a playoff team, but I think this is a good move. Like I said, when you are wanting to be a good franchise, you get rid of the piece that is keeping you from doing so. The Browns, bad. The Jets, horrible front office. These historically bad franchises are bad because they do this. They stick with guys that they're like, he might be better. Jonathan Gannon wasn't good. He was not good. There's no way they should have had a worse record this year than they had last year. I'm sorry. That's the truth. And look, dude, it's crazy that Brissett has walked in there and he has had a good year. And Kyler Murray has been ass. That's all I'm going to say. Kyler, I hope that you get a fresh start, maybe in Miami. I don't know. But that's going to be an interesting one, especially with our division. But I do think that's the right move. And again, you are in a division with 3 of the top 5 best head coaches in the league. It's not acceptable. You can't be that bad. The Raiders have fired head coach Pete Carroll. And also, I didn't include this on here, but Geno Smith has also, after the firing, unfollowed the Raiders. He's gone. He's gone. He's going to be $18 million that's gone. It is what it is. The Raiders are going to have to eat that up, and they're going to draft Mendoza and hopefully sign a vet for him to, learn from. But I do think he'll play. And look, the Raiders, I don't want to say have had, a horrible season, but they've had a horrible season. Like, they were talked about as a playoff team with Geno coming in, with Pete Carroll coming in, with signing Ashton or drafting Ashton, and some of the signings that they had, it just, it's tough. We've seen what, what's his name? What's the wide receiver that was with the Raiders that just went to the Jags?
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers, thank you. I was going to say Michael Mayers for some reason, but Jacoby Myers. We've seen what he's done with the Jaguars, completely revamped that offense. Trevor Lawrence, since they've traded for him, has looked like a top 5
He's looked like an all-pro
in this league. Exactly, and it's because of him. And it just shows how bad this Raiders team truly is.
And now you also have the drama going on with Max Crosby too. I don't know if anyone's been keeping up with that one, but there's definitely drama with that. Sure, people say he's Raider for life, but man, honestly, I wouldn't be so sure right now after this season. I really wouldn't.
And it's just, it's like, I don't know. I know that there's ties to their OC with the offensive line coach, I believe, as well. Or maybe there was a tie with Pete Carroll. I don't think it was Pete Carroll, but they were all very close. And they've done just a horrible job. Like, I don't understand what their whole game plan was, Like, to me, if your whole reason was, okay, let's go fully in on offense, sure, Gino probably should have had, a better year than he did. Yeah, whatever. But if that's the whole case and you bring in a guy like Pete Carroll, who clearly has not been a good head coach for years now, like, let's just be, he hasn't. He has not. It doesn't make sense because this is exactly what you're trying to avoid as a bad franchise. And maybe the Raiders, getting rid of him makes sense, but you got to make decisions based off of your personnel. The Raiders have 3 guys on offense, and I'm spitting a lot, sorry. 3 guys on offense that they could build around that are dogs. Got to keep them healthy. Offensive line, horrible. It doesn't make sense. Jackson Powers-Johnson last year had a decent year as a center. Then you move him to guard for no reason, and he's just horrible. He's horrible because that whole offensive line is horrible. Yeah, you guys have had injuries. Yes, I get it, but this is the right move. This is the right move. You get rid of Gino, you cut your losses, and you continue to move forward. That's what good fucking teams and franchises do. And again, I don't want to say the AFC West, is very easy, very difficult, whatever. I do think the Raiders could compete as a wildcard team if they make the right decisions in the next 2 years. And again, the Chiefs are one of those teams that's like, Chargers are one of those teams that are making it, but they don't make some of the best decisions with drafting. And the Broncos are going to be probably the team to beat, but you got to make decisions based off of the tough division that you are in. You need to do what's best for your team and understand that you play some of the best teams in the AFC yearly. And I think that was the right one. And then the big one, and probably the biggest one to me, and I've been screaming this all year, I think he's been on the hot seat, and it makes sense. The Ravens firing head coach John Harbaugh. I don't think the Giants going from Dable to John Harbaugh is really a big difference. I truly don't. They seem very similar culture-wise, but the Ravens, man, do you think that means that they get rid of Lamar, or do you think he stays?
No, he stays.
Okay, I think he stays as well. I think they were thinking about getting rid of one of those 2 guys, and you build around Lamar. But again, that division is not tough, and you have what they said going into this year, the most talented team in the NFL. Mind you, they were injured a lot. I get it. Most talented team in the NFL, and you cannot win your own division. I mean, I'll be completely honest. I've been the biggest advocate for Lamar Jackson choking in the playoffs. When it matters, Lamar chokes. He played fantastic in that game. That kicker sold. He sold. He sold the whole fucking game. And again, I get it, but the whole point with this is that Lamar has not played well this year, and they're 9-8. They're 9-8, and John Harbaugh deserved to get canned. Truly, he did. I get that he won you Super Bowl. That was years ago. It's been more than 10 years. You get rid of a guy that can't do it, and it's exactly like Pete Carroll. This is an offensive-minded, new offensive coordinator, offensive-minded league, if that makes sense. Your offensive coach, offensive coordinator, head coach, if they're offensive-based, they run the whole offense in a way that's new. I mean, we're seeing this, and there's some success with guys that are defensive-minded, and, they have good OCs with them. But that's beyond the point, and I'm probably just getting in a tangent. But are any of those guys the ones that stick out to you, like Pete Carroll, Jonathan Gannon, or John Harbaugh?
Pete Carroll stands out. I think it's time for him just to retire. He's done.
Yep.
John Harbaugh, honestly, I disagree with you. I think the Giants could really utilize him as their head coach. I don't want them to because I hate the Giants. I hate New York, but I definitely think that John Harbaugh could definitely help him out in that sense. I still think he is a good coach. I think that where the Giants are as of right now, and for the past fucking how many years since fucking Eli, I think I think that he can really step up of where they're at right now with the amount of wins that they can actually win. And compared to losses, like, it's just bad. Like, Giants had a lot of expectations this year. Sure, you can blame the whole Scatabo thing thing that happened this year, right? But you can't just blame that on one person, right? That's the equivalent to saying, like, I don't know, like, for you guys, for example, right? You guys didn't have CMC, but you guys still made it all the way. Like, there's, like, that's no excuse.
In a much, much more difficult division.
Yeah,
that's my main
actually,
thing. Like, you guys went in a division.
I can't even talk about that too much though either, because they did lose Malik Neighbors as well, their wide receiver 1. So I mean, kind of a bad take, honestly, on that part on me now, thinking about that a little bit more. But still, nevertheless, though, I think the Giants could really use someone like Harbaugh, at least for the time being, right? A couple years, sure. I think that they can get it. They can get themselves back on track. They know what they are needed. They know what they're looking for. Step it up a little bit, get that confidence going, find someone a little bit better as time goes on, because realistically, I think Harbaugh would be much better as a head coach for them right now than what they got.
Yeah,
personally,
I think that's fair. I think Dable's good. I also think that maybe signing a dude that's been there and done that and has won playoff games might be better than Dable. Although I do think that their cultures are pretty similar, so I don't know how it's going to go necessarily. It couldn't hurt. I'll say that. I mean, there's not like a lot of the guys that got fired, I don't think would be a good fit in the Giants in New York. Like, I did not think that they would be, and I think John could be a good fit. But it'll be interesting. I mean, we'll get into it more probably next week as well, once we have our divisional round episode set. But it'll be interesting. There's a lot of firings. I think all of them are necessary and needed, and I think they made the right decisions. Getting into the Week 18 recap, it was kind of a weird one. There was a lot of games that mattered and a lot of games that didn't. So we're going to get into it and then talk about the ones that we wanted to talk about. But so Saturday we had 2 games. Hate this, by the way. I wish I would get rid of it. But it was the Panthers at Bucks, and the Bucks won 16-14. Seahawks at 49ers. Unfortunately, the Seahawks beat the 49ers 13-3. Then we get into Sunday games. Colts at Texans, 30-38 Texans. Dolphins at Patriots, 30-10 Patriots. Cowboys at Giants, 38-10. I'm sorry. Cowboys at Giants, 34-17. Holy moly, there were some high-scoring games. Browns at Bengals, and that was the Giants that won that one. Kind of shocking. Browns at Bengals, the Browns won 20-18. Saints at Falcons, the Falcons won 19-17. Packers at Vikings, the Vikings won 16-3. Titans at Jags, 41-7. The Jags won. Holy moly. Cardinals at Rams, 37-20. The Rams beat the Cardinals. Chargers at Broncos, 3-19. The Broncos won. Chiefs at Raiders. The Raiders squeezed one out somehow, 14-12. That's embarrassing, by the way. Commanders at Eagles. Commanders won, also embarrassing, but the Eagles did, rest most of their starters, so I guess it's not as embarrassing. But Commanders won 24-17. Lions at Bears. The Lions beat the Bears 19-16. Jets at Bills. Oh, my God. 35-8, the Bills beat the Jets. And then Sunday night, and probably the game of the year, the Steelers beat the Ravens 26-24. Man, that might be the most high-scoring week that we've had all year. I mean, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that scored over 30 points. But anyways, so I've highlighted a couple that had playoff implications. And that one, the first one that included that would be the Panthers at Bucks. The Bucks beat the Panthers 16-14. However, there was a weird tiebreaker because they had the same record, 8-9, in which if the Falcons beat the Saints later in that day, that the Panthers would squeeze in the playoffs. And so the Falcons went and beat the Saints 19-17, and the Bucks missed out on the playoffs, and the Panthers squeezed in. Thought that was crazy. I wonder how many times a team has squeezed in based off of another team winning because of divisional records. It's probably got to be less than 10, and I can guarantee you it's the first one below 500 because the Panthers are 8-9. Anyways, that division sucks, but we'll get into it more. I'm just going to throw this out the window and get it over with. Seahawks at 49ers, 13-3, and probably the worst defensive game I've watched all year for the 49ers. I have a stat of the week later on that I want to save, but the Niners, it looked like a JV team, truly. For the score to be 13-3, seriously is baffling how worse the 49ers played against Seattle. Like 13-3 was not even close to how that game went. Like it truly felt like a 28-3 type of game. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Seattle was swarming. They were swarming. They destroyed our offensive line. The cornerbacks didn't miss. They had 3 missed tackles. It felt like they didn't miss a tackle all game. CMC couldn't do anything. seriously, Kyle Shanahan coached the worst game of the year he possibly could have, and maybe Robert Saleh didn't just because of the week that I'm going to say later. But Kyle Shanahan clearly did. I mean, he purely wasted his ability and odds to win the coach of the year by playing that bad, by coaching that bad. And the 49ers played horrible. I mean, and we got some injuries. And look, we got the worst draw possible. Not gonna lie, we got the worst draw possible in the Eagles because the Eagles have a great two set of lines, offense and defense. They also can be very, very physical against a team that, again, I'll say the stat of the week later, don't seem to be very physical. And they have weapons everywhere. Also, Vic Fangio, 4-1 against Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is 1-4 against Vic Fangio. And the head ref that was born in Pennsylvania and is known to be an Eagles fan has I don't know how many times he's reffed the Eagles. I would assume it's probably, I don't know if this was a home stat, but I would assume that it would be 9 times because the Eagles are 8-1 in the playoffs when he's reffed, or 8-1 in some whatever fashion. I can't remember the stat exactly, but the stars are not aligning. The Niners, in my humble opinion, are going to probably lose, although I'm rooting for them to win, clearly. So there's that. Saints at Falcons. I'm trying to just see if any of these other ones really mattered because I want to keep your thought process. Some of these really mattered with seeding, but none of them were really important. I want to get to the Ravens and Steelers. Like I said, I'm just glad they fired Harbaugh. I mean, you got to. After a season like that, after an ending like that, you have to, man. It just was the shits. In a season where you're the Super Bowl favorite, and you're deemed as the most talented roster, and you do that. Like, you should not be playing for the division. You should not be playing for the division when you're that good, and I think it makes sense why they fired him. And for the Steelers and Mike Tomlin, another year of being average, and you sneak in somehow, and you're going to lose in the first game. That's my prediction. I think the Texans win. We'll do this later, but I do think the Texans win. And I think, again, he will somehow get praised because he went 10-7 and they made the playoffs. I'm sick of that too. Mike Tomlin should be fired. I'm sorry. New beginnings are needed for that in that division, but whatever. That's besides the point. The rest of the games don't matter except for yours, Ant. 38-10. It must feel really good going to the playoffs, knowing that you put belt to ass against the Dolphins, who have been historically pretty good against you guys recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
38 and you guys are the number 2 seed. And give me a little bit of how you're feeling.
I mean, 38-10. I'm not going to lie. The game, I was not impressed at first, though, because we had our starters in. Against a team who did not have their starters in. Pretty embarrassing in the beginning. I mean, it was a lot closer than it should have been. It should have been off the rip, just straight up belt to ass. I mean, yeah, you could judge the Patriots by this just because, you guys had your starters in. They didn't. Only 38-10. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we were trying to secure that win. We were trying to secure that number 2 seed. We wanted to play the Chargers. We wanted the Bills to win. And then we wanted
the number 1 seed. If the Broncos lost, you guys would have got it.
Exactly, right? So, but no matter what, though, if we won, because who did the Broncos play? They play the Chargers, right? So no matter what, right?
No, the Broncos have a – oh, yes, they did play.
So no matter what, we needed the Bills to win. We needed the Broncos to win if we wanted the number 1 seed. Was that really going to happen? Probably no. But no matter what, we need to secure the win so we can keep the number 2 so the Bills didn't jump us. And then we needed the actually, no, that would not have mattered because we won the division. But I think at the end of the day, we're right there. We're trying to go for that number 1 seed, no matter what. Get it done, right?
Rightfully so.
It didn't happen, but now we're facing the Chargers in the playoffs, which honestly is probably the best case scenario for round 1 of the wild card. So, I mean, really much to talk about with it. Drake May broke one of Brady's records actually within the franchise record history. He did, yeah, but I can't remember exactly what the record was off the top of my head. But
I was about to say, what is it?
I can't remember it, but yeah, no, I mean, overall, great performance. It's great to see Will Campbell back. I mean, everyone played great though. End of the day, everyone played well. Everyone did their thing. I'm just excited. I'm super happy. It's been 4 years now. I want to say 4 or 5 years now since we've last seen the playoffs. And I will say though, what was it? Every time there's been a weird stat roaming around within our record and what we've done. Every single time that the Patriots have gone undefeated on the road, they have not every time except for one incident. We lost in the AFC Championship, but every time besides that we've went undefeated on the road in the regular season, we've ended up winning the Super Bowl.
Really?
And we went 8-0 on the road this year.
That's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. So it's a weird little stat roaming around within the whole New England news. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it though. There wasn't really anything too crazy about this game. I mean, we put belt to ass. It was great. It's great confidence, going into the wild card run, and facing Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Hopefully, we can keep it up.
Yep. No, that's definitely the goal. 38-10, those got to feel good. I mean, especially against a divisional rival, whether it was a slow start or not. But yeah, I mean, you guys are the 2 seed. We'll get into it, with predictions later. But what a year for you guys, man. What a year.
I know.
Yeah, so like I had mentioned, for this episode, we had news, the Week 18 recap, and then the fantasy yearly recap. And the time has come. I mean, my smile is through the roof right now. Cody's not here to talk about it, but they did not lose. They went 4-9-1. They ended up 9th in the league. But there might be one guy on our squad that had a little issue. Let me share my screen here. If you guys don't really know what you're looking at, that's Anthony. That's a created image or 2 created images of Anthony. Not only did he lose in our league, but he lost in another league in which he's going to be the napkin on the left at B-Dubs. As in, once they eat their wings, everyone in the league is going to wipe his white shirt as a napkin. And then that's him right there running the beer mile for our league because he lost in both. Anthony, what a brutal year for you in fantasy, dude. Oh, there we go. That's the format that I want.
No, look at that.
Well, how that happened, but Anthony, before I get to myself, you just need to give an explanation. But you lost in both leagues. How?
So I will confidently say that this is the worst year of fantasy I've ever been a part of. Let me just tell you why. I've never lost in fantasy. I may have been in a toilet bowl before a few times here and there. I may have been in the championship here and there. I've never lost. But this year, not only do I lose in 1 league, but I lose in 2, and how terrible is that? How terrible is that? Pretty bad. Now, Zach, I am going to send you a photo though, and you can put this in the Google Doc. You know what? Maybe I'll just email it to you just to make it easier for yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you want to put in the Google Doc, because I have the official outfit for the napkin.
Okay. Have you tried it on?
Yes. I have the official outfit here. It is with me. Not yet. Hang on. I'm looking for it right now. Here it is.
You know my email, right?
And it says uploading attachment. We'll send when done. I think it's sent.
Now we wait.
And so
bro, what in the Russia is this? Bro. Oh my God.
That's my beer. That is my napkin outfit.
All right. Download, insert image. Dude, did you go thrifting for this?
No, the Stewarts got it for me as my Christmas gift.
Whoa. Oh, there we go. The Pop's looking at you too.
Yeah, it's like a Nike just looking at me.
Look at this. You look look like a string cheese. What is this, Bubby? Beer mile, Bubby. Oh my fucking god, dude. String cheese, beer mile, Bubby. Oh man. That's so fucking outlandish. So they're gonna wipe it like all over you.
Yeah, Alex
Like,
already
be anything.
Alex already claimed that he wants my left ass cheek. Connor then said, he said, screw that. I'm taking both the cheeks. And I went, okay, fellas, no one's grabbing cheeks. And then John said, I'm just going to miss on purpose and just get your face. I'm like, okay. And then Jeff just said he's going to rub my chest. I'm like, okay. And so, I mean, it's outlandish. Apparently there's supposed to be a white scarf involved, but Stewie forgot the white scarf. So when he was here,
I am fucking dead, man.
Yeah.
Also, I'm saving that to my camera roll right now.
Go for it. I mean,
don't you worry. I'm going to do a little comparison to a string cheese after this episode. Man, that ends your year, but holy shit, that's fucking hilarious. That's the hardest I've laughed on the pod, I think, all year.
What were your thoughts now? Go to your thoughts now on everything. You said you had some thoughts. Yeah, you said you had some thoughts and you wanted me to go first, or?
Oh, no. You have some thoughts, as in, like, I'm asking you.
Oh, yeah. Well, those are my thoughts. That's what happened, you know.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts are, it's brutal, man. I mean, look, I'll say this. I think the last 2 years have fucked us making trades. It's weird. It's weird. Like, you make one trade and it just fucks your team. It happened to me last year. It happened to you this year. I don't know what happened in the other league, but fantasy's weird, man. It's just a hot and cold one. Speaking about that, I ended third in the league, got my money back, was 7-7. So I can't complain about that. A lot of fun. Looking forward to next year. Hopefully you or I can win, just because there's only been 4 winners in our league. Actually, yeah, 4 winners. 4 winners. So hoping someone else can. But yeah, that was a lot of fun this year, dude. That kind of wraps it up. We're not going to talk about fantasy until, maybe deep into the offseason. But God, that is really funny, Anthony. Really, really funny, man. So I got a stat of the week, and I need okay, here we go. I had it pulled up in one of these tabs. The stat of the week that I was alluding to when I was talking about the Niners was that the 49ers had the most missed tackles all year they had. They had 18 missed tackles. 18. And according to PFF, the missed tackles led to significant gains for Seattle's running backs. Kenneth Walker had 74 yards because of it, and Zach Charbonnet had 74 yards as well. Just in the run game, because of missed tackles, they had an extra 150 yards. Another horrible stat. Also, just so that you know, our starting linebacker, Tatum Bethune, who tore his groin during the game, had 5 missed tackles as a linebacker. Not only that, had probably the worst game of the year. The 49ers allowed 126 of the 198 yards, passing that is, against the Seahawks. I'm sorry, I'm going to restart that because I don't know if I said that correctly. But the 49ers linebackers allowed 126 of the 198 passing yards against the Seahawks. That was to tight ends and running backs. Tatum Bethune was targeted 7 times and allowed 78 yards allowed. Even worse, 113.1 passer rating when targeted. Garrett Wallow, who played just the fourth quarter, had 3 targets and allowed 30 yards, a 97.9 passer rating. D. Winters, 2 targets, 17 yards allowed, 79.2 passer rating, and Eric Kendricks, he had 1 pass caught against him. Just the worst defensive game of the year, maybe out of any team that I've watched. It was brutal. It was brutal. But that's that. We'll get into it. The wild card.
I have something.
Yeah, go for it.
It's not necessarily a stat. It's more so just want to say that the Jets are fucked next year. Because this just made me laugh. It's the Jets. Okay. I can't stand this team. You want to know what their I just real quick just want to go over their schedule of their home and away. Okay. Zach, do you know what Jets stand for? JETS?
No.
Just end the season. All right. Here we go. Their home game The Bills, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Browns, the Packers, and the Vikings. When they're away on the road, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Titans, the Bears, the Lions, the Cardinals. Just end the season. The Jets.
Oh my God, there's like 3 games that they might win.
Maybe 2.
Jets, what are we doing? I will say they do have like 3 first-round picks, though, in the next 2 years. Kind of crazy, but that's brutal. I mean, they are going to be probably fighting for the last or the first pick next year.
Yeah.
Last place is what I should say. Anyways, that's fucking wild, man. That's the stat of the week. We only have 2 more segments left of the episode. And typically this is a little bit longer, but we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. 6 games in a wild card round predictions. You know what, Anthony? Instead of doing the predictions, why don't we just do the Super Bowl predictions like you had said? Because it wouldn't make sense to do the wild card and then do the Super Bowl predictions. So we're going to just kind of combine these two, and I have this pulled up. So give me 1 second. It's not the greatest looking one because I couldn't find one that looked good, but here it is, man. So I guess we'll get into the wild card because that's going to be, our first set of predictions. Chargers at Patriots. I don't think the Chargers get it done, although I do not think that this was the best matchup. Maybe this was the best matchup that you guys could have got. I do think that this was probably the best matchup that the Chargers could have got too. I don't think that they wanted to face the Jags. I don't think they wanted to face the Bills, and both besides the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers to me are a joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's truthfully my thought. But I think if the Chargers were to look at these teams, they would probably say the Patriots are one of the teams that they could potentially beat because they could probably get into a shootout or try to, right? Like the Patriots have a good defense, but they're not as good as the Jags, the Texans, or the Broncos. And the Steelers, you'd probably want to play first, and you don't want to play the Bills because of Josh Allen. But I do think the Patriots are going to win. That's just my 2 cents. So I think you agree, obviously.
Yeah.
Bills at Jags.
This is a tough game.
I don't care. I'm going to do it. I think the Bills win. I do. I think that the Jags have had one hell of a season. They've been playing as the best team in probably the last 6 weeks. Trevor Lawrence has been playing like an MVP the last 6 weeks. I don't trust him in the playoffs. There's one guy I trust, and that is Josh Allen.
Okay. I could agree with that. I could see both sides, honestly. It wouldn't shock me if the Jags even went to the Super Bowl in this scenario, but I could definitely see your point, though, and I am going to lean that way, too, though, and I'm going to lean towards Josh Allen and the Bills.
Cool.
No, I think the Bills should be going up against the Broncos.
It might switch once we put this in.
Okay.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, okay.
So Patriots, Bills. Okay. Texans at Steelers. I'm going to be honest with you. I would love to look this up, and I'm going to on my phone here. Texans versus Steelers.
You want my full honest take? I think Texans win this.
Dude, I think the Texans destroy them.
Yeah.
The spread right now is Texans 3 points. I would take the Texans. I would take the Texans covering. I think the Texans are going to win.
I would much rather have the Steelers win because that'd be a much easier game for the Pats.
Holy dude. That's a brutal second matchup. All right. Anyways, we're going to get into the other side of the wild card. I am the biggest Packers fan of all time because if that was the case, they'd go and play Seattle. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think their defense is good enough. I don't think they've been playing good enough ball. I think Chicago squeezes it out, but it will be a close one. Look, I'm going to go with the 49ers. If you want to say the Eagles,
it's the Eagles, bro. I'm sorry. I know you want the Niners. You're a fan. But, dude, after last week's brother.
Heads or tails?
After we got to go with the obvious pick here, man. You even said it yourself.
Heads or tails?
Give me heads because the Eagles have a head.
Heads or tails? Fuck, it's heads. That's the logical thing to do.
It is.
And again, the other game that I would bet on, if I was a betting man, I would bet on the Panthers covering 10 points at home. I truly would, but I think the Rams are going to win.
The Rams are going to win this. I don't think that game's going to be as much of a belt to ass as people think it's going to be. I genuinely think it's going to be closer than what people think it's going to be. I still think Rams are going to win that, though. And now we have tough matchups. All these matchups are great.
A flip of the coin. They're all just a flip of a coin, man.
Can we start with the AFC divisional?
Yeah, we will. We will.
Off the rip, I'm just going to say Bills. I think the Broncos are one of the most overrated teams in the NFL.
See, this is the thing, too, because if I do this, I think the Bills will go all the way. Like, I think if they get hot and they beat the Broncos, they will beat the winner of this game. That's my genuine opinion. And I think it's going to happen, dude. I think that they're going to beat the Broncos. I think the Bills have a pretty good matchup, I'll say, going into it, if it leads to this. But yeah, that defense might give them some fits. I just think that Josh Allen's going to be too much, man. So I agree with you. I don't want to do this to you, but I think the Texans win. I think that defense is going to be swarming.
I genuinely think, hear me out.
Yeah.
I'll just run through the AFC real quick as it is right now. Patriots are going to beat the Texans. Close game, by the way. Yes, I understand that their defense. I understand that the Texans' defense is good. I understand that. I'm fully aware of that. Okay. But our defense also is very fucking good. We can allow that kind of pressure. Drake May has been under the pressure before, and he's been able to get out of those kind of situations. I think the Pats take that game. We go to the conference against the Bills, and we lose to the Bills.
Yeah, that sucks.
And then I think the Bills go to the Super Bowl. I'm just going to be straight up with it.
I'm going to call tails. Heads or tails? It's tails this time. I think this is the only team that could beat them, but I don't think Houston will make it. So I think it's fine. I'll go with your boys as well, which is going to be a tough AFC conference or AFC championship game.
Honestly, I would live for that game, though. I would absolutely live for that game. Like
I wish it was this game in the conference. That would be awesome. NFC and AFC fucking championship games, and it's just these two. That'd be sick. But Chicago and the Eagles played in November, and I remember the Bears winning that game. Yes, they won 24-15. If I'm being honest, I think if these two teams played, the Eagles would win.
It's in Philly too.
It would be
all these games. So it would be in Chicago. Oh, you're right. It is in Chicago.
Yeah.
So
I just don't see it, man. I think the Bears are a year away from that NFC Championship game. But also, I said the same thing about the Commanders when I thought they were decent going in, and they did it. So I don't know. My gut is telling me the Eagles just have too much experience, man. They're too experienced for the Bears. I think, honestly, if there was a team besides the two NFC West teams that are facing up here to beat the Eagles just because of experience, it'd be the Niners. So I think we're in
the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles will win.
And then we have the
Seahawks.
My gut
is telling me, dude. My gut is telling me Sam Darnold is going to be seeing ghosts. And you know what's crazy?
You said this last time, though, too.
You know what's crazy? I think if Seattle played Philly here, they'd make it. But I think there's something about the Rams, dude.
Hang on. One second.
Like they've outplayed them for 7.5 quarters that they've played this year. You know what I'm saying?
So the first game that was played, it was Seahawks at Rams. Mm-hmm. And the Rams beat Seattle at home 21-19. Then the second game, it was Rams at Seattle, and Seahawks won that game 38-37 in overtime.
But you got to remember, they were up 15 going to the fourth and choked it.
Right.
I'm going to lean the Rams, but if you want to go Seattle, we could flip a coin. I'd be fine with it.
Let's flip the coin because either way I can see it, but I think I would lean towards Seattle, especially since Seattle would be home in this scenario.
Okay. I called the second one. You called the first one. It's your turn for the third.
I'm going to go heads because Seattle has a head. The Seahawks have a head there.
Heads or tails? It's heads. Holy shit.
God.
Fuck,
I need to go to Vegas ASAP. Now we have this. Now, I know what I said. Yes, okay, I'm just going to give out my full thing with this game right here. If this happened, right?
No way we have this.
I think the Bills and the Patriots, right? The Bills and the Patriots. Probably a game, honestly, I would live for. Like, this is a game where, like, this game would be, this game, honestly, I'm sorry, this game would be 1,000 times. It's not, maybe not 1,000 times, but I genuinely would look forward more to this game. Obviously, I'm a Pats fan, but even if I wasn't, I would look forward more to that game than I would for the Eagles and Seahawks game. 100%.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
The game would be in New England. Cold environment. Bills are also used to the cold environment. And you know what? I think just purely based out of experience, playoff Josh. I mean, he's got the nickname of the Winter Soldier for a reason. I'd be terrified, and I would take the Bills. And I'm not gonna lie, if that was the case and the Bills ended up beating us, I would actually still root for the Bills. I would root for the Bills still in the Super Bowl. That's where I would go with that too. I mean, I would not.
I agree. I agree. Like, this is fucking crazy, dude. This is such a hard playoff to predict. This is nuts. Like, literally 14 out of these 16 teams could probably make a run.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. Like, actually, you know what? I'll take that back. 10 teams truly could make a run. Like, get rid of both 7 seeds, get rid of both 4 seeds. Even the 49ers, like, if you beat the Eagles and somehow Fred Warner does come back in the divisional and it's a bunch of fucking whatever you want to call it, I don't think it's likely. It could happen. The Texans have one of the best defenses. If CJ Stroud does not make any mistakes, they can make it. The Patriots have been the best team all year.
Yeah.
They've been the best team all year. They've been in our power rankings top 3 all year. It's like there's just so many good teams, dude. And the NFC West is stacked. Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think if Seattle beats the Rams, that Darnold gets through. But I think if that's the case, then I would pick the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to think, like, if the Bills play the Eagles and the Eagles go back-to-back, I think I would take the Eagles if they get through the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if Seattle gets through, I'm just taking the better quarterback. Truly.
Right.
But it's in Seattle. My gut tells me that Seattle's been a better team. I'm going to go Seattle.
Fuck. It's the battle of the birds.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's just...
So then a Bills and Seahawks Super Bowl.
Do we do it?
I have my answer. Yeah.
I think that's how it rolls. I mean, if this is how the matchups roll, the only other thing that I could truly see happening, and again, we let, luck kind of, I wouldn't say luck, but heads or tails pick some of these. So the Rams in Seattle, to me, I think that's truly a flip of a coin. I think the Rams could win that, and I would pick the Rams over the Eagles. And then I would pick the Rams beating the Bills. So that's the only other thing that I could see. I could see, honestly, those are the only 2 teams I think are going to represent the NFC. AFC's fucking crazy, dude.
AFC is nuts.
Crazy. There's 5 teams that could represent them. Like,
which
1,
would be
2, 3, 4, 5. Anyone but the Steelers or the Chargers. Bills, Broncos, Texans, Patriots, Jags, all could represent them out of the AFC in the Super Bowl. But I think this makes sense. Truly, I do. I think these are the teams that you rely on the most. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird. What happens if you do this? Wow. That would be a brutal matchup too, low key. That's probably what you're hoping for. An upset there. Yeah.
That's what I am hoping for. Because if that happens, honestly, I think fuck, dude, I don't know.
Look at that. Look at that. I knew it, dude. I told my dad it would be Eagles, Seahawks, Rams. Because I think the Rams would beat the Bears. Oops.
Dude, go back. Only if, bro. Go back to what it was. Dude, if it was those 2 conference games, oh my God.
It'd be nutworthy. Actually, this would be probably the 2 best conference games that we could think of based off the 2 matchups that we've had this year. Like both Patriots and Bills games were crazy. Both Seattle Seahawks and Rams games were crazy. Like that would be cinema.
Both teams have beat each other. Both teams are 1-1 against each other this season.
You know what's crazy, Ant? If this was the case, I would root for you.
Thank you.
I would. I mean, well, obviously, I'll be completely honest. I'd probably root for the Bills, but I would root for whoever wins this. I'd be getting drunk for. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I could not see this again. Honestly, if I see this or this or this or this, I'm done. I'm sick of it. Honestly, I'd rather see Chicago win. Truly. Anyways, that initial one was our. I guess I should probably read it out, huh?
And then change the Eagles. Yeah.
Okay. So we have in the wild card game the Patriots winning. We also have the Bills winning against the Jags, and then we have the Texans beating the Steelers. In the wild card in the NFC, we have the Chicago Bears beating the Green Bay Packers, the Eagles beating the 49ers, and the Rams beating the Panthers. In the divisional, that leaves us with the Bills versus the Broncos, in which we have the Bills winning, and then the Texans versus the Patriots, in which we have the Patriots winning. In the divisional in the NFC, we have the Rams and the Seahawks playing, and we have Seattle winning that one. And then we have the Eagles and Bears playing, in which we think the Eagles are going to win. In both the conference games for the AFC, we have the Bills versus the Patriots, in which we think the Bills are going to win, and the Eagles versus Seattle, which we think Seattle will win. So our Super Bowl, based off of our discussions, and we didn't really have a tiebreaker, so I guess Siri as the tiebreaker would be the Bills versus Seattle, and we think if that gets to that point, it would be the Bills that win it. What a year!
If for whatever reason the Patriots end up making it to the Super Bowl, I'm getting pissed drunk.
Dude, I hope you do.
I would be getting drunk. Yes.
What a fucking year, man! What a year! I mean, truly, this has been awesome. The playoffs are going to be fun. I don't remember the last time we could say that there's 10 teams that could potentially win the playoffs, win the Super Bowl.
Interesting.
Like truly.
Well, it's because my homie isn't in the playoffs. It's great.
I mean, it's wild, man. What an episode, right under an hour. That was pretty good. Anthony, you got anything else? Or should I say Patriots. String cheese? You got anything else?
Go Patriots, man. It's the only thing I'm living for right now. Drake May, please.
You know what, Ant? You know what? Go Patriots, go Steelers, go Packers, and go Niners.
Yes.
That's it for the episode. Please like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.